Hello, Artful Manifestors, and happy flower moon. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited about today's reading. We're going to be finding out what you are releasing during the full moon and what it's making space for. But before we get to that, I do want to tell you that I am giving away a free personalized tarot reading to show you my appreciation for all your support. All you have to do to qualify is like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and in the comments type, "The light in me sees the light in you." And please help me in congratulating Deborah Joe. Deborah Joe is the winner of the Flower Moon Tarot reading. Deborah, you can send me a message through my website, which is www.artfulmanifesting.com, and we'll make arrangements for that reading. All right, let's get started. If you're new to this channel, then welcome. This is a general reading for all zodiac signs, and it's a timeless reading, which means whenever you come upon it is when you're meant to hear it. And there are some messages that are very specific, so take what resonates and leave the rest for others. All right, let's see what we have. For pile number 1, we have goat. And for pile number 2, we have roots. For pile number 3, we have peacock. You may already know which pile you're most drawn to, but if you like to hear what the crystals are, let me introduce those to you now. For pile number 1, we have smoky quartz. And for pile number 2, we have black obsidian. And for pile number 3, we have cinnabrite. So let your intuition guide you. Whichever crystal and or card you're most drawn to is probably the reading meant for you. Although you're always welcome to listen to 2 or even all 3 readings, as it may tell you different areas of your life that you're releasing different things and what is coming new into your life to take its place. You'll find a link to the readings in the description box below. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You chose the smoky quartz, which helps to keep you grounded by increasing a connection to the earth. It also helps to release fears, overcome fears by encouraging peace and calmness. You also chose the card goat, which certainly are fearless animals when we look at how they climb to great heights, often standing and balancing on tiny little ledges. All right, let's see what else we can find out from the tarot cards about what it is you're releasing during the flower moon. And what will be taking its place. All right, we have the standing stone, which is a card about balance. And we already mentioned that goats balance on tiny little ledges. You also got the 9 of chalices, which is wishes coming true. And the 2 of Pentacles, which is also about balance. All right, so perhaps you are bringing balance into your life by releasing fear. Let's see. How can pile number one release fear? Give us some guidance about how pile number one can release fear. Okay. We have the Page of Chalices. And we see a child here by the river. It looks like she's getting ready to paint. So I think by comforting and nurturing your inner child, comforting by spending time outdoors in nature, staying grounded, standing on the Mother Earth. And if you are lucky enough to live near a river or the ocean, that's really going to amplify the power of healing that takes place outdoors. And then I say nurturing because we see that she's holding this chalice close to her heart and she's getting ready to paint. So what feeds your soul? What nurtures your heart? Doing those types of activities are going to bring balance into your life and help you to release fears. All right, what other guidance do you have for pile number one? What other guidance do you have for pile number one? All right, we have this card, 10 of Wands. So that's what I was thinking, is that you have an imbalance in life, and it is because maybe you are doing a lot of work because you feel that's what you're supposed to be doing, and that maybe that's what was modeled for you, and you're not taking time out to enjoy things, to feed your soul, nurture your inner child. All right, let's draw some oracle cards and see what other clues we can get. Yes, I think these. All right. What else can you tell us about what pile number one is releasing? All right, that really wanted to come out. Almost there. And we see the fox. I'm going to check the guidebook, but I think I remember the story of this. I just want to make sure. Give me one moment. Okay, yes. So it is the story that I thought. If you heard this story in a previous reading, let me know. This is card number 44, and your first card out was card 11. So you may be receiving or seeing repeating numbers as a sign to let you know that you're being loved and supported. And also, when you see these repeating numbers, notice what it is that you're doing or thinking at that time. It could either be encouragement from your guides, from your angels, your ancestors saying, yes, you're doing it. You're almost there. Keep going. Or it could be a little nudge like, hey, what are you thinking about? This is counter productive. You know, you're thinking about what you don't want instead of what you want. But the story of this card, Almost There, of Little Fox, is about a little fox who was born and loved to play in the woods and enjoy themselves. They lived near a river, and on the other side of the river, they could see this bright light that just really beckoned to little fox. But the river was much wider and bigger than this river, and Fox was too afraid to cross that river. And so the fox didn't. It just put that desire away, just kind of tucked it away and tried not to think about it. But every once in a while, little fox would see that bright light across the river. Well, seasons went by, and little fox was now big fox. And big fox saw something curious. There were geese standing on the river, like it was a rock. It was solid. So Fox went to investigate, and sure enough, Fox could walk across the river easily, and did, and was able to get to that bright light. And what Fox realized as it was approaching that bright light crossing the river is that it needed to go through all of these experiences and seasons and have the wisdom to know when was the right time to cross the river. All right, let's see what other clues we can get for you. I'm going to take some of these oracle cards. What other information do you have for pile number 1 about what they are releasing during the full moon, flower moon, and what it is making space for? What are they making space for? Oh, all right, here we go. We have winter, an ending, recharging, reflection. All right. And walking staff, support and encouragement. This card has been coming out a lot lately. And so has this one, fog, obscurity, feeling lost. Lavender, tranquility, kindness, and self-care. So it's interesting in these two cards, we see a path ascending, but in this card, the path is obscured with fog. And in this path, we see the path more clearly, and we see this support. So perhaps there is a resource that you have not taken advantage of that will give you the ability to climb this path more easily. We even see a path here, and the winding river looks like a path as well. There's even a path here. So there is a pathway to something opening up for you. Let's see if we can get some more clues about what this pathway is leading you to. What is this pathway leading? Oh, okay. We have the Comforter. All right, we talked about comfort here. And with the walking staff, again, I think it's supporting your inner child, comforting your inner child. It's going to recharge you. It's that recharging and self-care that's going to bring a balance back into your life. The Comforter. All right. And B. Oh, look, also card number 44. That's 2 44s. Let's scoot these up just a bit so we can make space for everything. The Soothsayer. The Shapeshifter. And the Oracle. There's one more card that fell out. The Laborer, which reminds me a lot of the Ten of Wands. All right, I'm going to check the guidebook for the B since we have 2 44s. Give me one moment. All right, I'm just going to read to you what this says. The keywords are activity, solidarity, and community. These small animals feature in many folkloric beliefs around the world, weaving an incredibly rich mythology for themselves. They have been seen as messengers between worlds, related to the art of divination, and have become close companions of humankind throughout history, giving rise to lovely traditions such as telling the bees. Various species of bees live in eusociality, with the well-being of the colony relying on the cooperation of the insects. The bee card represents the active, harmonious, and communal aspects of our lives. All right, and you know, I have mentioned this before in another reading that sometimes Spirit will give you information through whatever it is that you're consuming. So if you're watching TV or you're reading or you're on your phone looking at social media, or you're riding a bus and you're looking at billboards and benches, you may see literal signs that contain messages for you from Spirit. And the same thing happens for me. And yesterday I saw a video about telling the bees and how people have had this practice of telling the bees. Ancient Egyptians believed that bees were the tears of Ra, a gift to humankind, bringing us liquid sunshine. And when we look at the oracle here, we see that she's holding a little dish of maybe honey or honeycomb, and she's got a bee on her finger. She is both giving and receiving messages from the bees. This is a Melissa priestess, and they would consume a special kind of honey and receive prophecies. So bees are also going to be a reminder besides the number 44. And the number 44 is a number of well, 4 is a number of stability, and the angel number 4444 is a number of divine support, which you have that support there. When you see 44 or 444, 444, 44s, that is a reminder that angels are around you at this time, supporting you and encouraging you. They are helping you, uplifting you, comforting you. And they want you to do the same. They want you to bring balance into your life and to nurture yourself, to do some self-care. And it's okay to work and to work towards your goals, but you're going to make an easier job of it if you take time to feed your soul, to nurture your heart. And the other thing that they're telling me is that if you do that, if you make time to self-care and nurture yourself, we have here the soothsayer and the oracle. You're going to be more open to receiving information from your angels and your guides from spirit. And you're also going to become more adaptable, more flexible. All right, I do want to check the guidebook. Hold on one moment. All right, I also want to read to you what the guidebook says about the Comforter. I've actually never drawn this card before. We do see that she has a rabbit or a hare, which is a sign of fertility. And it looks like she's drinking some tea. She has a mortar and pestle, some herbs, possibly some honey, another reference to bees and honey. All right, it says, her home was filled with joyful sounds, the shelling of walnuts, the idle strumming of the dulcimer, the rumbling of the pot on the stove, the barking of the dogs. And when there were silences, they were comfortable silences that one did not feel the need to fill. The Comforter speaks of the need of home, material or not, and of choosing the right elements in building our nest, finding warmth in little things and wholeness in simplicity is sometimes all we need. She represents our safe spaces in which we find repose. So again, we're hearing the word safe, which takes me back to, releasing fears, but also comfort and rest, repose, taking time for that self-care. With this Standing Stone card, in other decks, this card would be the Justice card. So we do see the scales here, which definitely mean balance, but a specific message for some of you may be if there is some kind of legal concern that you've had, just know that it is going to come out in your favor. We have the Standing Stone upright, and then we have the 9 of Chalices right afterwards. But in this deck, I love that each deck has their own little nuances. We see this circle of stones, and this is also a card of community, because this is a place where, the people in the village would come and meet and talk about, important things. And they are showing me, look at this, another path here. So there is definitely a path being illuminated for you. And perhaps somebody in your community will help you find that path. You certainly have a lot of cards that speak of support and community. But there's also a message that, you know, with the Justice card and the Soothsayer, the Oracle, that you know the right decision to make. You know the right path to take and when to take it, just like Fox knew when to cross the river. Let's draw a card from this deck and see if we can get any more clues about what this path is that's being illuminated for you. What kind of path is being illuminated for pile number 1? What kind of path is being illuminated for pile number 1? Can you tell us more about the path being illuminated for pile number 1? Okay. I actually got 2 cards. We'll see what they are. Great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. And star ancestor, follow the voice of your soul. So it could be a spiritual path that you have been thinking about pursuing. But then we also have this message of follow the voice of your soul. And also with learn from spiritual experiences, perhaps the other message of the bees and community is some kind of spiritual community that may support you. Definitely, though, there is a strong message that you have an ethereal spiritual community supporting you, your angels and ancestors, your spirit guides, and all you have to do is ask for their help. Ask them questions. If you love insects and want to talk to the bees, you can talk to the bees, talk to the ants. But, you know, if you see a little bee and you want to talk to them, try it. Ask. Ask a question out loud in your mind and notice what pops in your mind. This may be a hidden talent or gift that you didn't even know you had. All right, so to sum it up, pile number 1, you are releasing a fear and bringing balance into your life. And what will help to facilitate that is staying grounded, being outdoors, nurturing your inner child by feeding your passions, feeding your soul, doing things that comfort you, practicing self-care, and being open to receiving messages from Mother Earth, through nature, and from your guides, angels, and ancestors by taking time to recharge and reflect. And you will be able to overcome any obstacles, shapeshift and adapt, and climb to great heights. There is a path being illuminated for you. Trust yourself. Ask your guides and your ancestors, but trust yourself that you're going to make the right choice. Beautiful. Pile number 1, so happy for you. Enjoy this new path. Enjoy the journey. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. You chose the black obsidian, which is a stone of detoxification. It helps to relieve stress and anxiety. It helps to clear away any kind of ancient traumas, intergenerational traumas. And it's also a stone for personal growth. I knew I was missing one thing. Yes. And as soon as I picked up this card, I remembered, because we have this heart-shaped tree, which is certainly a symbol of growth. It says on here, roots, which leads me to believe that once again, we have this synchronicity between the crystal and the card, even though the crystals are placed before the cards are drawn. But with roots, it makes me think that what you are releasing is something that has a long history to it. So whether it's from your early childhood or the generations, your ancestors before you, things that they experienced that has been passed down through your blood, or even past lives. So we will see when we go through the cards what other clues we can get about what it is that you're releasing. Stress, tension, trauma, all of the above. All right. Oh, we already have one card out. Oh, two cards. All right. So we have the Seven of Wands, we see someone placing their wands above the hearth, and Four of Chalices. All right, so perhaps you are releasing two things. With the Seven of Wands, you know, typically we think of empowerment, standing your ground, fighting for what you believe in. So in the context of releasing something, perhaps what you are releasing is a type of defensiveness or being guarded or shielded. And the Four of Chalices is discontentment, dissatisfaction, disenchantment, boredom. And I love this depiction of the Four of Chalices because we see this little dragonfly here, which is, of course, a symbol of transformation. Let's get some more information. All right, these cards already are trying to come out before I can even ask the question. Spirit really wants to talk to you. Okay, we have the Eight of Chalices. And the Four of Pentacles. The High Priestess. And the Green Man. All right, we'll just put that right there. All right, I feel like this is something that you've been working on for a while. Maybe not even consciously, but for some of you, maybe you have been aware of it. But what I see is one person here in this card, and then in this card we have two people. This card we have one person. This card we have two people. This card we have one person. And in this card we see a gathering of people, like a little celebration, social gathering. And in this card, the Eight of Chalices, sometimes speaks of a change in social interactions, how you interact with people. And in this card, we see she's not even looking at this person that's coming to offer her a cup. In this card, the Four of Pentacles, you see that this figure has moved the pentacles away from the door, closer to the hearth. So there's this idea, again, of suspicion. And in this card, we see a celebration. We see three figures with the green man here, and they're dancing, playing musical instruments. We see even the little dog or goat that is dancing. And they're outside in this picture celebrating. And in these two pictures, they're in their home. Let's get some more clues. Let's get some oracle cards and see what else we can find out about what pile number 2 is releasing and what it's making space for. What is pile number 2 releasing? Ooh, okay. We have magnetism through gratitude. And that certainly goes along with the cup message from the Four of Chalices. We even see chalices here with little hearts in them. So it could be that you're not recognizing the gifts that you're being offered. And so what I see is that you're releasing that. And again, this could be a behavior that was modeled for you or that you inherited in some way, shape, or form. All right, let's draw some more cards and see what other clues we can get about what pile number 2 is releasing and what is it making space for. What is pile number 2 releasing? And what they're telling me is that you are releasing some kind of dissatisfaction, which is making space for celebration. And in the High Priestess card, she is working alone, but what she is doing is she's drawing down the energy of the full moon to bless this water, as well as adding herbs. And then she will share this water with her community so that they can also experience blessings. So I'm also getting this idea of maybe a fear of not having enough and, you know, moving things, so arranging things or not allowing other people to share in your blessings, but also not recognizing the blessings that others are giving you, including nature, the earth, the universe. And it's all going to shift with the energy of the 8 of Chalices. There's something about your interactions with others that's going to change, and that is going to create space for community and celebrations. The green man is 0. It's like the Fool. It's a new way of doing things, a new way of seeing things. Oh, all right, that is probably too many. Yeah, I'm just going to put all of those back and reshuffle. All right. What can you tell us about pile number 2 and what they are releasing during the flower moon? And what is it making space for? All right, for these cards want to come out. We have altar, gratitude, releasing burdens. How about that? Exactly what we've been talking about. And that's coming out right underneath the 4 of chalices. So not recognizing there's some blessings that that are in your life or that you're being offered or you're receiving, but you're just not recognizing them as blessings. So taking time to write down, think about at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, what you have to be grateful for is going to attract more blessings to you. You have magnetism through gratitude here, and then here you have gratitude. Love that. And trunk, stability, loyalty, and reliability. All right, let's draw a couple more of these. What other information can you give us about, whoa. All right, we have cup of tea, patience, and reassessment. All right, so what they're saying is if you've been a certain way a long time, you have inherited a certain type of belief system about others, the world, yourself, and also inherited a certain type of behavior of, maybe not trusting the world, trusting others. And then you start to make changes in your behavior, then be patient about seeing the changes. It's going to take a little practice, and it's going to take a little time for that energy to change directions. It is also interesting that we have the trunk here and we have roots here. And what you're going to notice is that the more you recognize these gifts that are coming from others, it's going to shift your social interaction. Being grateful for the smile that a stranger gives and smiling back. Being grateful for the kindness that somebody at the grocery store provides by letting you go first in line, and just making eye contact and having a heartfelt sense of gratitude and saying thank you. All of that is going to open your eyes up to all that you're receiving, and it's going to multiply your blessings. All right, leaves, renewal, revival, progress, and another dragonfly. So this is really going to transform your life. It really is. All right, let's get some more oracle cards from another deck and see what other messages we can get. What other guidance do you have for pile number 2 about what they're releasing and what it's making space for? What other guidance do you have for pile number 2 about what I feel like this first card wanted to come out. All right. We have the Crow and Dogwood Intelligence. And what they're telling me about that is communication. Crows are very vocal birds. They're also very intelligent birds, and there's something about the way you communicate that's going to change. As you start to recognize the gratitude and acknowledge it, you're also going to receive more gratitude. What else can you tell us? I think this one. The Antelope and Wheat Nourishment. Yes, it's nourishing the blessings, nourishing the offerings that the universe and your community, the people around you, with gratitude and receiving more as a result of that. All right, let me draw some oracle cards from this deck. What else? Oh, okay. The Standing Stone. This card is about what you've already been through, what you have already overcome, and the fact that you are still standing. You are resilient and strong. And I love that that's coming out underneath this card. Stability, loyalty, and reliability. Both coming out underneath the 8 of Chalices. What other messages do you have for pile number 2 about what the flower moon is helping them to release? All right, we have the Wind Rider. What is pile number 2 releasing, and what is it making space for? What is pile number 2 releasing? What is it making space for? All right. We have Teeth. This is an acknowledgement of the pain that we experience as humans, as beings in this 3D reality. And the Oracle. All right, let's get a card or 2 from this deck and see what other clues we can get. What can you tell us about what pile number 2 is releasing, and what is it making space for? What is pile number 2 releasing, and what is it making space for? Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. So with the Oracle and the Shapeshifter, what they're telling me is that because of this pain, because of what you have endured, it set you into a tone of looking out for, who's out to get you, or what is it, being that suspicious of not trusting people completely. And there's maybe, again, for some of you, there may have been this wavering where you think, I'm just going to do this on my own. I don't trust others. Okay, maybe I'm going to let someone in. No, I'm going to be by myself. All right, maybe I'm going to let someone in. So it's like been this back and forth. And you do have this gift, this intuitive gift. But because you're so, you've been focused on protecting yourself, that you're always looking for threats. And the universe wants you to know that what you look for is what you will find. So shifting from looking for threats to looking for things that you can appreciate, things that you can be grateful for, is going to transform this gift, this oracle gift, in a whole different way. And you're going to see things in this world and in the other world in a completely different way. Let's see if we can get one more card. What else can you tell us about pile number 2 releasing? What they are releasing. What is it making space for? What space is being created for pile number 2? What are they making space for? All right. We have Druid, hold the space. I love that. Yes, hold the space. Hold the space of your heart, the space of gratitude. And what they're reminding me of is when you set your intention to find something, like, let's say you're looking for a specific kind of car, and I don't want to say any names, but you're looking for a specific kind of car and you're thinking about buying it, and all of a sudden you're driving around and you see that car everywhere. And you're like, wow, you never knew that so many people had that car. And it's not that those cars, became into existence at that moment that you started to think about getting that car. It's that you put your attention on that thing, and then all of a sudden it was revealed to you. It's like there's this whole other reality that you aren't seeing because your attention is on something else. And so you're being invited to let go of that, to release that, to change the way that you interact with others, to communicate the gratitude that you have for what you receive. Communicate not only to other people, but to what you consume. So when you drink your cup of tea or when you eat your food, having gratitude for what you have, and start to see with your heart. Start to see the world with your heart. We see this eye here on this heart. And you are going to branch off into different directions and experience huge personal growth. So you're releasing whatever is keeping you from growing. And for many of you, I think it's this perception of others and maybe not trusting others. You're being invited to release that and replace it with gratitude. And after you do that, you're going to experience this unveiling of your gifts. You're going to experience more stability and reliability from others and loyalty from others, which is beautiful. I'm so happy for you, pile number 2. That sounds amazing. Really nice. Enjoy the journey. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You chose the crystal Cinnabrite. And Cinnabrite it helps facilitate prosperity. It also helps to maintain calmness while pursuing and staying focused on a purpose or a goal. And you also chose the card Peacock. And peacocks are such elegant birds, and we think about the peacock strutting to impress, opening their fan, their tail feathers, and they just have this regal energy and often symbolize higher standards. So let's see how these energies combine with the other cards to deliver your message of what it is the flower moon is helping you to release and what will be taking its place. What is it making space for? What is pile number 3 releasing? And what is it making space for? All right, so let's focus first on what is pile number 3 releasing? Oh. All right, we have the Knight of Wands, and the Green Man, and the Wheel of the Year. All right, I feel like maybe you're going to be changing directions. We see this person, and while they are a knight, they are going towards, the left direction, which to me sometimes is the direction of the past. But also, they aren't going very fast. She's just kind of meandering, trotting along. The Green Man is like the Fool, so it's a new path. And then we have the Wheel of the Year, which is like the Wheel of Fortune. So again, we have this idea of prosperity, just like we had with the Peacock and the Cinnabrite. So perhaps you are going to change directions and start something new. Let's see if we can find out more information about what this new thing is and what you're leaving behind. What is pile number 3 releasing? What is pile number 3 releasing? All right. We have, I always forget how to pronounce this. I think it's the she. I think it's the she. I'm going to have to look it up. But we see little fairies whispering in her ear as she creates this potion. The 4 of Chalices, which is discontentment, dissatisfaction, boredom. The Lord of Shadows. And the 6 of Pentacles. All right, I'm gonna Actually, just move that a bit so we can see all of these. All right, give me a moment. I want to look up how to pronounce this and see what all of these cards are telling us combined. All right, it is the she. I was right. Yay. Okay, so a very magical person. And I love that it's coming in the center of all these cards because it is about combining different things, blending different things. And that's why she's making this potion. And you have the Green Man, the Wheel of the Year, the She, and the Lord of Shadows. 4 different major arcana cards. So this is a huge change. I think for many of you, this is a change in career. And the reason I say that is you have the Knight of Wands, and wands are about work. So it could be very well your place of work. It could also be how you work. So it could be the way you do things. Maybe you combining different forces in a new way, combining different ideas in a new way. And then, of course, we have the Wheel of the Year, which is like the Wheel of Fortune. So, and the Green Man is new beginnings. So with all that, I feel like this is really a huge new beginning of something that you're doing. It's not something that you believe or think or feel. It's something that you're doing. You're going to be doing something different and new. And I do find it being fulfilling. It seems like perhaps now you are unfulfilled, either in your current job or with the way that you're doing it. And so that's coming to an end with the Lord of Shadows and being replaced with something that is more prosperous and something that's going to be a better exchange for your time and energy. With the Six of Pentacles, it's a balanced exchange of energy. So perhaps where you are now, you don't feel valued or appreciated, and what you're moving towards is an equal exchange of energy, where you feel that you are receiving as much as you are giving. Yes, a whole new direction. I see you changing directions. Let's draw some oracle cards, starting with this deck, and see what other clues we can get about what you're letting go of and what you're making space for. All right, it seems like this card really wanted to come out. We have Nourish the Shadow, card number 33. All right. And the very next card is Master Manifester, card number 10. I love that because you got the Wheel of the Year here, number 10, and the Master Manifester. So it could be that you did have a fear about this new path, because we have Nourish the Shadow, and Master Manifester is a story about the crow being scared of the spider, and eventually the spider speaks to the crow, and the crow overcomes that fear. And Nourish the Shadow. So, all right, let's get some more and we'll come back to that. Let's get some more clues about this new path, this change in directions, what you're letting go of. Oh my goodness, I just realized that this card is called the Lord of Shadows. And here you have nourish the shadow. Wow, I love that. All right, let's draw some cards from this deck. All right, we have the healer. All right, let's take these. They all seem like they wanted to come out. We have the Wayfarer. Autumn. The Comforter. And the Dusk Child, which again is like shadow side, embracing your shadow side. All right, let me look at the guidebook for this, and I'll be right back. All right, I want to read to you what the guidebook says about nourish the shadow. Jaguar comes to speak to us about nourishing our shadow. In this image, we see her drinking from the well of wholeness. The well in this image is our place of nourishment and absolute wholeness. Water is where all life comes from. Without it, we have no vitality. And look at this card, the Lord of Shadow. There's also a well, and we see this father and child walking away from the well with a bucket of water. Many of us ignore and starve our shadow aspects because they cause us so much pain. We push them away and deeply criticize them. We chain our jaguar shadow and confine her to the furthest part of the backyard of our minds. She howls and cries for nourishment, yet we still ignore her. In her banishment, because of the lack of love, her power grows as the master of self-sabotage. Ironically, if you would begin a relationship with her, you'd find that she is your greatest asset and leads to fulfilling your life's purpose. I love that we have nourished the shadow and releasing that fear of our selves and becoming the master manifester. And this card is all about facing your fears. So there is a fear that you are releasing, and perhaps it is the fear of not being able to take the other path. But I do see that you are changing directions. You're starting a new path. And for some of you, it's going to be career. But for others, it could be another path in something else about how you live your life, how you work. And I see you combining things, combining different ideas to create this new path, or to create a way to follow this new path. I see you learning something new. The Knight of Wands is also about learning, and so is the Wayfarer. So you're beginning to learn how to combine different elements of your life to create something new. Let's see if we can get some more clues about this new path that you're taking. What else can you tell us about pile number 3's new path? What else can you tell us about pile number 3's new path? All right, let's see what we have here. We have rain, cleansing, purification, and hydration. Nourish the shadow. Wow. So you are healing by facing your fears, nourishing your shadow, combining new things, manifesting something new. Love it. A lot going on. Winter, an ending, recharging, reflection. Yes, we already said something is coming to an end. And for some of you, that could be one job so that you can start another job. But in addition to that, it is some kind of shadow aspect or fear. Summer, expansion and growth. Yes, you are going to be experiencing major growth with all of these major arcana cards up here. This is going to be a huge change for you. All right, let's get a couple of cards from this deck and see what other guidance Spirit has for pile number 3. Mirror Guardian, take time to reflect. And we saw that here as well. So take time to reflect about what your shadow is. What is that part of yourself that you have been neglecting, suppressing? What part of yourself have you maybe been afraid of? And maybe it's time to turn that into an ally. Having a jaguar as an ally would be very powerful. What other guidance can you give pile number 3 about this new path? What other guidance can you give pile number 3 about this new path? All right, let's take these. We have Stargazer, set your sights higher. I told you, raising your standards. So I'm feeling that maybe some of you felt like you didn't deserve this, whatever this change is that's coming, but you absolutely do. You absolutely do. I see you healing that belief, changing it, and setting higher standards for yourself. Druid, hold the space. And great teacher, learn from spiritual experiences. Beautiful. Yes, so as the cards began to reveal themselves, we see that it is something tangible that you are releasing, like a job or how you work, how you do things, and being replaced with something that is more in alignment with you, as well as releasing fears about some aspect of yourself and gaining the ability to become a master manifester, setting your standards higher, and really experiencing growth and expansion. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yes, I really feel strongly for many of you that this is going to be related to work with this Peacock and the Cinnabrite that started off the reading talking about raising your standards and prosperity. And then here we see set your sights higher. Beautiful, pile number 3. So lovely. So happy for you. Please let me know if you have been considering a new career or upskill, learning how to do something new, a new skill, or intuiting how to make a change. This is a huge transformation. Enjoy the journey. The light in me sees the light in you. Thank you. Bye.